We have the Koulourakia, we have the ancient Greek S, we've got the snail shell, we did have a ring but they've been eaten, and the woman covering up. Hi, welcome to ggmix. Today I'm going to show you how to make orange koulorakia infused with traditional Cypriot flavours, mastixa, mexlebi and cinnamon. Koulorakia are a traditional Cypriot biscuit, but they don't have the texture of like normal biscuits. My koulorakia have the texture of like breadsticks, so they're like crunchy and crisp with every bite. But because I add double O flour, once you bite into them, they just like melt in your mouth. They give you like, you need to try them to understand what I'm trying to say. The texture of these, phenomenal. Traditionally, Greeks and Cypriot make orange cookies, plain orange cookies around Easter. But here at ggmix, we're all about the flavour. So I ain't going to give you like a plain orange koulorakia. I'm going to give you one that's got flavour. So that's what I've infused it with cinnamon, mastixa and mexlebi to give you a koulorakia like no other. Plus, this is a great recipe to make with the kids because I have so much fun making them and shaping them, and you'll probably end up coming back to it like over and over again, and maybe it'll end up becoming like a family tradition. So let's get started. Before you add your sugar to your mixing bowl, weigh out 115 grams of sugar and take a little out and put some in your pestle or mortar, well, your mortar, and some in a small bowl so we can use it later to grind our spices. Then in a bowl, add the rest of your sugar and 125 milliliters of vegetable oil to your mixing bowl, and with your whisk attachment, whisk for 10 minutes. While that's beating, let's grind our spices. Add a quarter of a teaspoon of mastixa, around 2 to 3 mastic drops. It depends on how big they are. The smaller they are, the more you add. And grind in your mortar with your pestle until it's like ground like your sugar. I add the sugar to stop the mastixa sticking to the inside of my mortar because then it's like really hard to clean, and also the sugar like helps in like grinding because it gets into the bits and it mashes it up. When it has all turned into a powder, pour it into another bowl, then add the sugar that you saved in your other bowl into your mortar and add a quarter of a teaspoon of mexlebi and grind away until it's also a powder. Okay, now let's get back to our oily sugar. Okay, lovely jubbly. Now add 125 milliliters of freshly squeezed orange juice, the zest of 1 orange, your mastixa and ground mexlebi, 1.5 teaspoons of ground cinnamon and 1 teaspoon of vanilla, then whisk until it's all combined. Take your whisk off and scrape off any orange zest that's stuck on it because we want all that orangey flavour. Then sieve 300 grams of double O flour and 100 grams of plain flour and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I like to add double O flour because it gives the biscuits a finer texture, but I still add a little plain flour because I don't want them falling apart when you eat them like a shortbread biscuit. Oh, I've got flour everywhere. Then add a dough hook to your mixer and beat until the dough comes together and drops off of the dough hook. Can you see my dough is still a bit sticky? I'm going to mix it for a little bit longer. Okay, that's a little better, but not how I want it. So I'm going to add a little sprinkling of double O flour to my dough. Not too much, but I think it's because, you know, when I was sieving the flour, some of it like went missing. It went all over the place. I'm a little bit messy. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit and hopefully it will bring it all together. Yes, that's much better. Can you see it's not sticking to my hands at all, and it has a lovely shine. This is the dough we're looking for. Lovely jubbly. Now it's time to have fun shaping. I like to roll out sausages a few at a time so I have the same length to work with, and my koulourakia are kind of like a similar size, which makes them cook evenly and look better, you know, when I'm serving them up. For my first shape, I like to call the woman covering up. So fold your snake in half and then twist. Super simple. Can you see, because I have measured my snakes beforehand, they look kind of even? My next shape is called the ancient Greek S. Swirl one end in one direction and swirl the other end in the other direction, and there you have a fancy looking S. Next is the snail. It's similar to the ancient Greek S, but you swirl in one direction only to form a snail shell. Number 4 is the Koulourakia. My yaya used to make a dough out of flour and water and make this kind of heart shape. Then she would boil the dough in water, then carob syrup to make this super tasty dish. It's one of my favourite dishes ever. If you head over to my Instagram, you can have a look at what they look like and check out the recipe. This is the hardest shape to make. You need to make your sausage a little longer than the others and thin out the ends, so when you fold them into the middle, they stick together and form a lovely shaped heart. The fifth and last shape I have is a simple circle. Just roll out your sausage. Anyone getting hungry for sausages after all this talk about dough sausages? I'm feeling some Cypriot sausages, Chef Dayez. Anyone else wanting some in a bitter with tomatoes, cucumber, parsley, onions and dashi? Anyway, back to the circle or the ring. Just join the two ends together and you will have a nice lovely circle. If you want to get the kids involved, show them how to make the shapes or let them make whatever shapes they want. When you are done, cook your koulourakia at 175 degrees for 25 minutes and they will look like this. But if you want them to be more crispy, then leave them in the oven after they finish cooking with the oven turned off for another 30 minutes. If you can smell it in here now, it smells beautiful. Can you see my koulourakia are like different colours? That's because the different shapes make them cook at different times, but it doesn't matter which one you have, they all taste the same. It's just like the lighter ones are a little chewy and the darker ones are just a little bit more crunchy. These are delicious, served with a cup of Greek tea or Greek coffee, but I don't drink coffee, so hubby can have the coffee. And now it's time for me to dig in, yeah. They smell so nice. The mastixa, the mexlebi and the cinnamon and the orange together are fantastic. They've got the smell and taste of flavour. It's just like, it's crispy, it's crunchy, it's sweet, it's tangy, it's got mastixa and mexlebi, which together is just like fantastic. Like to remind me of koulorakia and flavour in a cookie. So you hear that crunch and look. You see the zest, there's like a lot of orange zest in this to give you that citrusy tone. Oh, these are like fantastic. They're vegan, they're great to put in your bag to take out with the kids. You can make them as a family. They're just like fantastic. You know that when you want, I need to stop eating. Sorry, let me stop eating. You know that when you want to eat a cookie, but you don't want them to be like chewy or soft, you just want something crispy. Like sometimes, you know, you just like, you want something savoury but not too savoury, but it's like, it's not, these are not savoury at all, they're like really sweet. But sweet with like orangeness, yeah? But they're sweet and they got like what can I say, that crunch gives you that texture, makes it a bit savoury, but not really savoury, but it like satisfies your savoury taste bud while you're eating it. It's so good. I said to stop eating it. You've got to make them, try them. These are the best orange koulourakia you will ever taste and ever make. And the recipe is so simple, just measure out everything and it'll come out perfect, trust me. These are so tasty. I forgot to say, this shape is the best shape, all right? Because when you bite it, if you bite it like this, you get like, it's not like chewy, it's more crispy. You have it like this bit crispy, this bit crispy, this bit crispy. This is the best shape. The twirly whirly woman covering up. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share. And if you want to keep up to date with all my latest videos, please subscribe below. So until next time, bye!